So I'm sure we've all seen the E.T. Holiday Reunion commercial by Xfinity, and even though it's the greatest commercial I've ever seen, I was surprised to discover that there is more to this commercial than meets the eye. So here are 25 things you missed in a holiday reunion, in no particular order. Number 1. Nike Cortez. In the beginning of the commercial, we catch a glimpse of Elliot's son's room. At the bottom right corner of the screen, we see a pair of old school red and white Nike Cortez shoes. These were the same type of shoes worn by Elliot in the movie E.T. Number 2. The train. In the very next shot, we see a toy train going into a cave of plush toys as the light from E.T.'s starship seeps through the window. This shot is very reminiscent of the scene where FBI agents are raiding Elliot's home, where they have a similar toy train running on the table. Number 3. The plush toys. In Elliot's son's room, we see an array of plush toys, similar to the mountain of plush toys in Elliot's closet in the movie. But the most prominent one is the Raggedy Ann doll. This is the same Raggedy Ann doll that was in Elliot's closet, presumably belonging to his little sister Gertie. Number 4. Elliot's shirt. If Elliot's attire looks familiar, it should. That's because he's wearing an open plaid blue shirt, similar to the one E.T. wore when he was home alone. Number 5. Frogs. There's many homages to the famous frog dissection scene from the film. In the living room, there's a book on the coffee table with 2 frog drawings on it. And when Elliot's son is showing E.T. his VR headset, we can see a frog toy right next to E.T.'s feet. Number 6. Reese's Pieces. Now, it's no doubt that E.T. contributed to the popularity of the Reese's Pieces candy, and this commercial pays homage to this, as we see E.T. eating cupcakes topped with his favorite candy at the family dinner table. Fun fact, originally E.T. was supposed to eat M&Ms, but the Mars Candy Company refused to have their candies in the film. Yikes! This turned out to be a very costly mistake for the Mars Candy Company, as after the release of the film, sales for Reese's Pieces skyrocketed. Number 7. Jurassic Park.
Dr. Sattler. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Believe it or not, this commercial also pays tribute to another one of Spielberg's famous franchise. In the scene where Elliot's son is showing E.T. his VR headset, E.T. is startled by a roaring T-Rex. This T-Rex looks very similar to the T-Rex from the film Jurassic World. Number 8. Dungeons and Dragons. When Elliot is bundled up with his family and E.T. on the couch watching Christmas movies, we can see that he has a Dungeons and Dragons board game under the TV. Why is this an Easter egg? Well, Dungeons and Dragons was the game that Elliot's brother Michael and his friends were playing at the beginning of the movie. Number 9. Harvey. We all remember Elliot's lovable golden retriever Harvey. Well, it seems that Elliot hasn't forgotten about him either, as in 2 separate occasions we see pictures of Elliot's furry companion. There's a picture of him on Elliot's desk, and one next to the Dungeons and Dragons board under the TV. This is also the same exact photo that Elliot had in his nightstand in the movie. Number 10. The drawing. When Elliot walks into his son's room, we see a framed drawing on the wall. If we take a closer look, we can see that it's the same exact drawing of E.T. that Elliot drew in class as a child.
For which we've been preparing, and you will find many similarities.
Number 11. The hologram. During the scene where Elliot is alone with E.T., we catch a glimpse of some of the advanced technology of the Green Planet. E.T. shows Elliot a little green ball, which reveals a hologram of his family. In the end of the commercial, E.T. leaves one of these holograms of himself inside of Elliot's son's hoodie. But would you believe me if I told you this isn't the first time we've seen this technology in E.T. canon? If you have ever ridden the E.T. Adventure ride at Universal Studios, in the queue, E.T.'s teacher Botanicus sends a holographic transmission to Earth, begging guests to find E.T. and bring him home, as he's the only one that can save the Green Planet with his magic healing touch. The hologram in the ride looks awfully similar to the one in the commercial, without the CGI of course. The way the hologram is achieved in the ride is via animatronics, fog, and laser lights. Number 12. The Fishbowl. In Elliot's son's room, we see that he has an array of toys in its nightstand. However, he also has a fishbowl, which looks very similar to the one Elliot had in his room. Number 13. Rainbow Blinds. Another Easter egg in Elliot's son's room are his blinds. You're probably asking yourself, how is this an Easter egg? Well, Elliot's son has rainbow blinds, just like Elliot had in his room back in '82. Number 14. The Communicator. When E.T. sneaks into the shed and finds Elliot's old bike, with basket and all, in the background we can see a record player, a wood hanger, a speak and spell, and an umbrella. This is actually the communicator that Elliot and E.T. built to get E.T. home. It seems that Elliot has kept it in his possession after all of these years. Number 15. Red Hoodie. I know this is probably an obvious one, but in the finale of the commercial, Elliot's son is wearing a red hoodie. This is a callback to the iconic red hoodie Elliot wore in the final act of the movie. Number 16. Steven Spielberg.
Hello, I'm Steven Spielberg, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the E.T. adventure.
As we all know, Oscar-winning director, and my idol, Steven Spielberg is very protective of E.T. He won't even allow Universal Studios to close down the E.T. ride in their theme park. But it turns out that Spielberg was actually a consultant for this commercial. They also decided to include a small homage to the man who created the lovable alien. In the scene where Elliot is telling E.T. that a lot of things have changed since he was last on Earth, we can see a small book on a shelf. If you look very closely, the book is titled, you guessed it, Spielberg. Number 17. Gertie's Cup. During the dinner table scene, we see a small yellow cup with a face and blue feet. If this cup looks familiar, that's because it's the same cup that Elliot's sister Gertie was drinking from in the dinner scene from the film. Number 18. Shark. No, not that shark. Back in Elliot's son's room, we see a small shark pincher with his toys in his nightstand. This was the same shark pincher Elliot used to teach E.T. about fishes.
Fish. The fish eat the fish food, and the shark eats the fish. But nobody eats a shark.
Number 19. Pictures on the Wall. When Elliot's son is showing E.T. the internet, we see several framed pictures on the wall of the living room. If you look to the left, you'll see a picture of Elliot's childhood home. We can even see his mother Mary's car parked in the driveway. We also see an old photo of Elliot as a child. This was actually an old promotional headshot of Henry Thomas for the movie E.T. Number 20. Act of Kindness. In Elliot's son's room, we see a small poster on the wall that reads, "No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted." This is a callback to a poster that Elliot had in his room that said the same exact phrase. Number 21. The Solar System. Also on the wall in Elliot's son's room, we see a poster of the solar system. This poster is similar to the one that Elliot and his siblings were using to figure out where E.T. was from. Though the one in the movie is in a book, I'm still gonna count this as an Easter egg. Number 22. Halloween 1982. In the last shot of the commercial, as the camera zooms out of the photo of E.T. and Elliot's family in the snow, on the right we see another picture. It's the picture from Halloween 1982 that Elliot's mother Mary took. In the picture we see Elliot, his brother Michael, his dog Harvey, and E.T. hidden under a sheet. Number 23. Floating Planets. Hanging from the roof of Elliot's son's room, we see a model of the solar system. This Easter egg is a tribute to when E.T. used his powers to make the planets float. Also, a side note, we don't see the whole poster, but I believe the poster on the wall with the woman depicts the kissing scene from The Quiet Man, the John Wayne movie E.T. was watching on the TV. I'm not too sure about this one though. Number 24. The Globe. On Elliot's son's nightstand, we see a globe. This globe looks very similar to the one Elliot used to try and figure out where E.T. was from. It also might be an Easter egg to the fact that Universal's logo is a globe. Number 25. Mary's license plate. This Easter egg is probably one of the coolest ones. When E.T. is in the shed looking for Elliot's old bike, we see a California license plate that reads 132YEB. This is actually the license plate on Mary's car in the film. And those were my 25 E.T. Easter eggs in a holiday reunion. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And always remember,